Drop it.
And we should have sound. There you go. How you guys doing? Good morning. Good morning. Oh man. Hey, Michael, what you know about that closed captioning life, right? Good morning, 1348. Good to go with the audio. Yes, bro, I just got to thinking my sound wasn't working. Haha. Good morning, friendly. Good morning, Tori. I just posted on Twitter, so you guys could see before I started the stream, I had to go ahead and take those $2,200. So I'm up $2,200, just showing proof in the system. Gabe available in SAP. Great, babe. Can't wait to see you this week. We shall celebrate. Great Babe sells his business after 20 years and is printing with 1348. It's just, I love these stories. I love these stories. So let's get into it. Let's see. J Time, good morning. Miguel, morning. John, good morning. Randy, Real Call here. Frank B, Matthew, Rick, Shanley, Granddad's Cash. Granddad's Cash, way to go. Made $5,400 before the market even opened across all of his performance accounts. That is just, I love to see you guys printing. It's one thing when I'm like, hey guys, I can trade and I can teach you how to trade, right? And it's like, all right, well, okay, Gabe, you're a good trader, but am I a good teacher? And seeing you guys win like that, right? I mean, that is next that's next level even for me. Just confirmation that I'm able to teach you guys this, and more importantly, that the system is really that easy. We've simplified it for you so you could just make bank, right? We demystify the markets so that you know exactly what you're doing. Granddad's Cash. Awesome. Okay, so let's get into the markets. Let's look at some of these trade designs. Let's look at Taco Lori is back. You're back from Italy, baby. How you doing? How are you doing? All right, so let's get into the charts here. What are we looking at? We're looking at a trade design to the downside, and it's just flickering around. This could be just, all right, this is where we have to go ahead and trust our system, okay? And in this example, we're not entering this trade until we get the 4378 entry. Now, we do have indications that it is coming down. RSI seems to be the one thing in disagreement or agreement, if you will. We need parabolic SAR to show red to agree with RSI here, to agree with the golden eye here, right? So let's wait for that parabolic SAR to agree, and then we will get our 4 check marks here, and hopefully we can get our entry. And what this is looking like on the 5-minute is just consolidation, right? You can see through the moving average with the RSI, right? It sort of kind of like reached an apex, ever so subtle, right? Just a slight curvature, kind of like when you go to the bathroom and look down, fellas, just going left a little. All right. So Um, this is just a wait and be patient type of setup, okay? Now, the market has no obligation to meet the requirements of this trade design, and you guys know better. This is why we have these safety systems built in, right? Where you are waiting for that entry point. That entry point also happens to be right at the 24. And we know what the 24 is all about, guys. The 24, when you get a break of the 24, that's usually a sign that the trend is weakening. So currently we are in a bull trend. This is your 1348 cross. Of course, you guys know to take only your A setups. And this, in fact, is a B setup, right? Um, let's see. Let's see. Must be the computer can't hear me well today. You know what? Let me go ahead and raise. Excuse me. Is that a common thing for you guys? Let me go ahead and raise my gain a little bit. How about now? You guys hear me a little bit better? Maybe a little bit too loud. You're gonna hear me breathe, I think. Right? But better. Good morning, everyone. I just found a link. All right. Uh, Better. Good here. All right. Better. Perfect. Romeo. All right. Cool. Made my cat jump. Ha. Better. Angel says perfect. Okay. Okay. So, going back to, for those who didn't have captions on, um, you have the 24 here, which also aligns with your entry point to the downside. The market has no obligation to meet this trade design, but you guys have your fail safes in place, right? As long as you are reactive and not assumptive of the market, you will put yourself in plays that are profitable. Now, we have to consider the fact that we are in a bull trend here, and of course, a break of the 24 would show a weakness in that trend. Now, it's a matter of being patient. Of course, we have the 13 here on the 5, and price tends to like to bounce off the 13 as we see here, right? And so, even though we have this trade designed to the downside, well, are you taking it? No, no, because it has to fulfill the prophecy of 43.7775. That is your entry. Your contract, 3 contracts, and that's dependent on what you have set your position size for, right? Show position size. Whoa, I have $1,000. Whoa, wait, hold on. I don't have the latest go tonight, which I should, but let me let me go ahead and just change that to 300, and that now changed to 1 contract. All right, cool. Do you add your winners? Do you add to your winners playing futures? And if so, where do you like to add to your position? I like to add to my position at retracement. If I do in fact add to my position, right, I still need confirmation that we are in a trend. The thing with futures, honestly, is unlike options, right, where you're really looking to capitalize on those really tiny moves for those 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 percenters. For me with futures, it's really point and shoot. Ready, aim, fire. And then, thank you, Lori. I'm easily distracted by compliments that make me blush. Okay, so you ready, aim, fire, right? And then for me, it's like if I'm profitable, I'm profitable. I go ahead and I just take it out, right? And I look for the next trade design. I'll be honest, guys, I've done things, especially with hot potato watching, where I've scalped inside the trade design. And although profitable, it's just the efficiency of my capital, meaning the money I'm putting into the market, just to squeeze that extra 500, 700, $1,500 is probably not worth it, right? For me, I like to trade just calm, right? I just want to be calm. And I think when you guys add that calm element to your trades, you're going to be able to profit more. Now, what would influence a calm trade? That is position sizing. Position size to the point where you really don't care. Right? You really don't care. Meaning if it's $50 and it hits your stop and that's what you're able to tolerate, It's $50. You don't care. What this is going to do is empower you in the trade and give you an opportunity to stay in the trade much longer. All right. And so that is one of the things we do to calm ourselves in a trade. All right. Um, Granddad's Cash, no fear of losing what you're trading. No. Granddad's Cash is a great example. This man has become a master sniper, and I'm sure he plays with small position sizes, but he's very methodical with it. Um, you will find that a lot of traders, successful traders, are very, very methodical with it, right? Now, to be methodical, you need to be systematic. And to be systematic, you can't have emotions. To not have emotions, you need to be able to enter a play that doesn't influence your emotions, right? When you're getting into a trade and you're like surprised that you're up $1,500, then guess what? Get out. If you're surprised, get out, please. Right? You need to know what you're doing at all times. Remember, I talked about in the video yesterday that I launched for you guys. The best trade is to know why you entered and know why you exit. You need to focus on that, okay? Always focus on why did I enter and why did I exit. If you do not have an entry, if you do not have a thesis for your entry or your exit, you're simply just spraying and praying, right? Um, that's it. Now, Arvin, there's so many ways you can go ahead and take that out of context. If you're surprised, get out. It's dark. Oh, put up my clothes. Yeah, excuse myself. So, Tuxedo Flux wants me to look at Tesla. All right, now Tuxedo Flux, I want you to get to a point where you can take these trades without my guidance. All right. This is one of those things where you have not broken the trade design. We just talked about this. Now, if you played it off the rejection here, if you played it off this rejection, anticipating this move, then congratulations. You did hit the 200. I have nothing to guide you through here. Okay. You also have a zone here at 250.71. I'm using BJ key levels for those who want to add this indicator. Simply go ahead and then put 75 look left and 10 look right. All right. Um, at this point, Tesla has no obligation to pay you anything. All right. And that is that. Congratulations, Tuxedo Flux, you made your money. I have nothing that supports your thesis on a continuation, right? You do have the 13 there. You do have, the potential for it to break to the downside, but I don't like uncertainty. When we play by rules, guys, we play with a degree of certainty. If we play a rejection because of a level, that's a degree of certainty. If we play it down to basically the 200, that's a degree of certainty, right? I'm going to take the trade. This is my thesis, a rejection off the level. I'll take my profit at the 200 because we have enough experience in the market to know how price can, in fact, behave when, it hits the 200, right? So if we have experience in that behavior, then we know to capitalize in that moment. Now, if it breaks to 200, you're more than welcome to re-enter. But hey, look at if you secure the bag, secure the bag, just wait for the next trade setup and you're done, right? Technically, you are still in trade origin because you did not get that break. Now, since you took it from this level, I would advise maybe not to take it until you get a full-blown entry and or a break below this level, which is going to be 250.65. That is it. We keep it super simple. We're playing levels, we're playing momentum, and we're playing with experience. Experience lets us know we have to respect our EMAs. Really, really simple stuff here, guys, right? And so let's go ahead and let's see. Let's look at Apple. I'll go ahead and look at Apple really quickly. Have not looked at the chart. I'm gonna assume it's a little bit like Tesla. No, it's actually looking, yes, it's a little bit like Tesla. So Apple is another play here where you knew where your rejection would be thanks to the VJ key levels. Once again, guys, you want to go ahead and set your settings to 75 and 10. Always respect your levels. More importantly, respect momentum. This was a point in time in which we got a transition from bullish, although brief, to bearish, right? And we did come down to this level, barely breaking our entry, but we have a 176.85, which was the level. This here, having taken this play from a zone down to a level that is profitable. Once again, guys, we want to play with a certain degree of certainty, right? If you're uncertain it's going to break a level, get out, right? If you're uncertain it's going to reject, don't take the play. Once again, we are reactive because we are momentum traders. We do not make assumptions. We let the market show their hand, right? So we have to assume, based on the rules that we teach you with levels and EMAs, that those are your destinations. Those are basically just it's within your design, right? Where it's okay. I know where this is going, right? To a certain degree, it's that's what you guys want to focus on, right? Here we go. Let's go ahead and take another trade here. I'm stumbling over my words. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining it well enough, guys. My apologies. But you just want to be able to trade with a certain degree of certainty. A certain degree of certainty, right? The smaller the degree, the more the certainty, right? If you're going to go ahead and start trading and hoping for you move all the way down to 173.5, I think you're a little bit delusional. And by virtue of that, you will introduce a great deal of uncertainty to your trade. It's kind of like a quarterback, if you will, right? You'll see that quarterbacks or even NBA players, right? High percentage shots, the closer they are to the basket. Further away, you know that you'll see a quarterback's accuracy diminish after maybe 20, 30, 40 yards. Of course, a basketball player, you will see their accuracy diminish the further away from the basket they are. I mean, unless you're Curry. I mean, he's just 100% NBA champs, like for real. If you guys remember that game, then you're showing your age, and yeah, you're part of the cool kids club. I sell at levels. If it keeps going, I buy back in. Here, you play the level break. There's nothing wrong with that. Why? Because when you play the level break, you establish that level as your risk. It's really that simple, right? You go ahead, you take your profit at the level, it breaks that level, now becomes your risk. You play the continuation. It's very, very simple, right? I keep saying very, very simple, and I don't want to undermine the intelligence of anybody. If someone's saying like, "Well, I don't get it," with enough repetitions and enough just screen time, and of course passion and desire to understand what we're providing here at 1348, you will get it. It might take you an hour, it might take you a week, but we have created the system that is intuitive and will help you get it. All right. We do all the legwork for you, right? Now we have a trade designed to the upside with Apple. Of course, this could just mean chop entirely, right? And we're going to go ahead and keep an eye on the moving average of the RSI, right? A flat moving average, guys, will tell you if you're going to get chop or just you're going to get consolidation here, okay? That's what you're looking for, right? Of course, we have that subtle turn to the downside, and you're not going to take this trade unless we get the break, right? So once again, these trade designs are meant as a guide. You still have to follow the rules, and in doing so, you will be profitable. There's no question about it. Okay, it's really no question about it. So let's go ahead and look at something else. I mean, we haven't done.
Nvidia.
Yes, Nvidia. Let's go ahead and check out Nvidia. And back to the charts here. So Nvidia is a Nvidia here, right? This is another example of, price action has absolutely no obligation. Now the 200, remember how we talked about the 200 being areas that you absolutely need to respect, okay? Look at the 200 right here. If you have no respect for the 200, then guess what? You better learn to respect it. And if you refuse to respect the 200 over your trading career, you won't have a trading career, right? I'll catch you in a dumpster behind Wendy's. It's just the way this game is played, right? So We have a potential bounce off the 200. Again, we're respecting it. We're looking at momentum. We see Heikinashi, right? We see Heikinashi to the upside, and we see our side being bullish. Now, you see right here, you have this indications, not enough confirmation to validate the move to the downside. This is another way we help you with your trades. Guys, if you want to learn to do this, check out trade1348.com. You get your 7 days free. And, you know, we really simplify the trading game here. So we don't have enough confirmation here, right? So why would you go against what everything else is telling you? You'd just be a complete fool. Okay. So we would want to wait patiently for a trade design that is agreeable, right? You guys, you got to remember the old rules here. Above the 200, we are biased to calls. Right below the 200, we're biased to puts. Right now, we're in gray area. Right. Daily Taylor, nothing like that Wendy's experience. I haven't had Wendy's in such a long time. Such a long time. Yeah, yeah. Damn. It's just the nearest Wendy's just like 11 miles away, and I just don't find myself like wanting to drive 11 miles for Wendy's. All right, so back to the chart here. Let's go ahead and get into another trade. Let's see what Tesla did. I'm really curious to see what happened here with Tesla. All right. Uh, the 200, you guys see once again, the 200 remains undefeated. And of course, you have that 13. Looks like a potential bounce off the 13 and the 200. Cool. Did you know Wendy's burgers are square because they don't cut corners? Yeah, it's kind of a cool slogan. It's kind of a good slogan. Um, okay, let's see. I like that. Breakfast bacon eater slaps. Okay. I don't know what you guys are talking about. All right, 170 viewers in here, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, slap the like button, turn on notifications. All right, let's get to work here. You guys want to get a ticker on here? Looks like, according to Tesla and Nvidia at the 200. Let's see what the Qs are doing. I am curious. The Qs. Look at this. So you do have your trade design, guys. If you're looking to, shares or options, right? These trade designs are, especially with options, they're going to keep you grounded. You have very little margin for error with options, right? So again, you want to play the rules. You got to bounce off the 13. You have your trade design. There is an entry point. You can, all right, you guys didn't hear it here, right? But let's say you wanted to enter before your entry point. That's cool. You just cut your risk in half right there, right? So let's say we entered here instead of here. Cool. You cut your risk in half. However, however, if you do hit your stop, you hit your stop, and that is it. Okay. I noticed that some of you guys are in fact doing that, where you're entering inside the red zone and keeping your risk really tight, right? Hair trigger thin. I have no problem with that as long as you are always managing risk. Okay? Please. Always, as long as you're managing your risk. Okay, let's look at Microsoft here. Um, look at the Q is looking to want to break into the century right here. Right. Look at that. All right. Solid play. It's a solid play. You're actually up over half a trade design. So then a 1-to-1 gets you 1.5. Okay, do this at your own risk. It's not something that I would advise doing, especially if you have heart conditions. But it's something you can in fact do. All right, so let's go ahead and look at NQ. See what NQ is doing. And NQ doing more of the same, right? So the Qs and NQ, MNQ, uh, we're flickering here. We're flickering here. Now, what I'm going to do is see where are we on the 15th. Guys, we have a zone right here on the 15. That's your zone. Done. Like, if anything, that is your clue. If you got in early and or if you played your entry way back here, especially if you're trading futures, you happen to get in early, or if you played a bounce, I would definitely go ahead and secure that bag. Okay. Microsoft ran. Oh boy, let's go ahead and take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft here. I don't want to call it running. It came into your trade design, but then of course you do have this zone here, which you could see it's rejected from, right? So anybody playing Microsoft right here, if you got your entry a little sooner, again, establishing your risk, maybe your entry came in at 332.33. You have your risk here, you're playing options, you played it up to 333.71 really quick. That's basically the top of this box. You're good to go, right? Just again, guys, manage that risk. If we go ahead and look at the 15 here, yep, just barely broke through on the 15. Okay, so this is going to be an area of interest here, guys. I suggest you trade with caution, right? And we just talked about this, right? It's you want to trade with a certain degree of certainty. If there's a zone right here that is a degree of certainty that there you will experience turbulence and or just a reaction towards that zone. Okay, now Wreck-It Ralph, careful folks. DXY just turned up. Oh, US dollar currency index. Oh, wow. Look at this. Nice trade design, right? Gets you a nice entry point. You get a break above the 200, right? You establish your risk halfway through. And now you have a level right here. We do have a lot of momentum coming into this. Let's go to the 15, see if there's a zone somewhere. There is not. Your first zone, whoa. Okay, guys, your first zone is going to be somewhere at 106, 106.58, right? And guys, that is an eternity for DXY. Okay, so again, play responsibly. Of course, you see sensitivity to this level. So if you got on the entry of the 200, you're playing with a level, a certain degree of certainty. You have that level there. You go ahead, secure the bag, wait for a break. That introduces another degree of certainty, which you could say, all right, we're going to keep on moving on up, right? That is a horrible arrow to the upside. My apologies. But again, always trade with some degree of certainty, right? Eyeing that AMC A setup down. Ooh, careful there, Cody. You're gonna get me in trouble. You're gonna get me in trouble with the apes. Emotional damage. Where's that?
Emotional damage.
There you go. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at AMC. Hey, it's a tradable stock. Might as well. ES is chopping. Yes, the whole market's chopping. Let's go ahead and look at AMC. AMC. Trade design down. You got an entry at 911, right? But you also broke this zone here, and you were alerted way up here with the golden eye, right? I mean, it's a setup down. It's just, well, not way up here. And you are 50-50 right now. Oh, it just switched over to Let's Rock. You have a potential entry here, just broke below this level. Interesting stuff. I would love to see a parabolic star candle start printing on here. Otherwise, this is risky, right? You can be patient. Of course, it's risky. You would go ahead if you waited for the break of the zone here at 924. Of course, that will now become your risk, right? Really simple. And you're going to play it down to an entry, maybe even more. All right. So ES and what just happened here? Why is everything taking so long to load? Okay, ES just decided to give you another A setup. There goes your entry, one contract. It's getting you to a 1-to-1. This is great. RSI is overextended. You do have parabolic. Sorry, you do have a hold here. I hey guys, I would just take the money and the opportunity, right? Everything just really looks sideways until it doesn't, right? Uh, are we gonna get a break there? We're gonna get a break at the 1-to-1 with one contract. Hitting that 1-to-1 with that entry, you'd be up $262. Not bad, right? And I want you guys to see, like, I have my take profits at 1, 2, 3, 4-to-1, 5-to-1. And if you were to take 5-to-1 trades, you only need a 17% win rate. That's wild. 2-to-1, you only need a 34% win rate. Right? 3-to-1 is 25, 4-to-1, 20. And guys, isn't that wild? That the biggest difference and it okay, let's really look at this. I want you guys to look at this. Can we look at this for a second, guys? Right? This is why being greedy doesn't really pay off. Right? Okay. So the biggest the biggest difference in risk to reward happens from 1-to-1 to 2-to-1. From there, you can see that difference is nearly 16%. From here on out, it becomes 9% from 2 to 3. And then your win percentage gets smaller and smaller and smaller ever so subtly, right? So if you're seeking that 4-to-1 just to, it doesn't make sense, does it? Right? Because now it's just a 5% difference. And then this is just a 3% difference, right? So law of diminishing returns here for, attempting to hold it longer. Does that make sense? You have that law of diminishing returns for attempting to hold longer. I mean, I'm okay 2-to-1, need a 34% win rate. That's great. I'll hit that all day, right? I know I'm a better than 50% trader, so even 1-to-1 excites me. But does that make sense? You get law of diminishing returns as you're attempting to hold longer, right? And we're talking about win rate, right? I mean, of course, you hold longer, the more money you make. Um, but over time, you have to expect, no matter what the trading strategy is, right? When you have a trading strategy that probably wins 70%, like we do here, you have to account for human error, which would probably bring that percentage right back down to 50. So it's always going to be 50-50. So with that, you want to scale your risk to reward and in favor of that 50% or better, right? So that's going to be 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. Let's go ahead and check out a SPY entry. Let's see what we have here for SPY. You missed a boat already. You had your entry, right? It gave you a 1-to-1, and it's possibly coming to a 2-to-1, possibly, right? Again, the market has no obligation to fulfill your wants and desires. All things are a possibility. Now, what is the one thing that's for sure, right? If we want to talk about a level of certainty in the trade, the one thing that's for certain is if you got into this entry and you're currently in this trade, you're green and you're profitable. If you're trading options, you're probably profitable to a fairly decent degree, right? That's it. You break through a level, go ahead and re-enter and use that level as your risk. We could already see that there is sensitivity to the day highs here at 435.09, right? We just broke through this zone. Is there another zone? Just at or about here, 435.33. Right there. Just about it. Right there. Let's see. That's probably what you're going to end up playing up to. Right. TMR says Fed speech later today at 4:30 could be a factor of the chop right now. Again, uncertainty. Market's uncertain. Right. You're going to go ahead and you're going to take your quick scalps, call it a freaking day. Make your money. Right. For me, that was all right. I saw an opportunity. It was a quick scalp, make $2,200 before I went live. My day is pretty much done. What more do I want? There's nothing in my life that will require me to make much more money than that. Can somebody do an average for me? $2,200 on average over 252 trading days. That's over $500,000 a year, right? And that's on the lower end of my spectrum. So here's what it is. Play small to win big. Not bad. That's not a bad living. Not bad living. You guys, if you can't live off of that, $45,000-$50,000 a month, you're doing something terribly wrong with your life. Terribly wrong with your life. Let's go ahead and let's. Oh, so our friend Short the Vix had brought up Mira, and Mira certainly popped, and of course it died, and of course we had a trade design to guide you into that. And then now we have another trade design, and you could see that sensitivity right at this level there, right? Trade design is saying a 50-50 chance right now. Probably not worth it. You got your entry here. You're smacking that 24, or if you were smart, you took it at the top of that wick, call it a freaking day, right? Take your money. Really, really, really simple, right? There are guys who like to hold much longer, and then those guys who hold much longer, especially the guys on YouTube, yeah, the gurus, you'll see that a lot of them play like the 4 hour and the daily, but they have very large ports, very large ports. Your margin requirements are ridiculous, right? And if you're going to play options, you definitely need to be allocating just 1% to that trade, the TEH strategy, TEH. So yeah, you guys are scalping. Let's make that money. A whole lot of nothing going on right now in the markets, right? And so, I mean, just take what you can or don't take nothing at all. Maybe you got to sit on your hands, guys. Sit on your hands till the market just, comes alive. So, one thing with beginning traders, right? One thing with beginning traders is the sense, the want, and the need to make every trade a home run, right? And the thing is that that's really unfair to think that way. That's unfair to you and unfair to your port, because your trade is limited to the market and what the market's doing, right? It'd be great if we had a constant like heartbeat in the market, that a perfect cadence where we could play it up, we could play it down, we could play it up, play it down, play it up. But every trade is different. Some are just consolidating, some are super tight, some are large, right? The idea here is to con- consistently practice risk management so that you're live for every trade that presents opportunity, right? And that's the beauty of 1% allocation in a trade, right? It assures you that you are alive to take advantage of each individual opportunity that the market presents for you throughout the day, right? Whether it's SPY or Mira, Nvidia, Tesla, right? Um, I know a lot of, and I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot, right? Where some people are like, man, I missed that move. I ran out of dry powder. Or I'm calling it a day because, I'm down 4% on my port. Whatever the situation. Um, Christopher Rulio, how do you know? I mean, you could look at volume, but it's, let me show you something, Chris, right? I don't like to overcomplicate my trades. I really don't. I don't. Let's look at this. Trade design, enter, point, shoot, go. That's simple, right? It's really that simple. I'm not looking for the perfect setup. I'm not over analyzing my entries. I go ahead and I give myself an entry point. I give myself an exit point. I look at the chart, momentum's in favor of my thesis. Point, shoot, go, right? The more you sit there trying to find that perfect entry or the perfect trade, um, is the last opportunity to put your money to work for you, right? And I just find that like just kind of ironic. I find that kind of ironic because when you're looking for a perfect entry, right? Okay, you got a perfect entry. Where's your exit? There's always going to be two parts of this equation. And for me, I don't want to do that much thinking. That's why we created GoldenEye for you to keep it super simple, right? You broke your entry, momentum's on your side, you got some check marks, point, shoot, go. That's it. That's it. I mean, somebody want to like maybe clip this and add like sad music because I got nothing more to tell you here. It doesn't get any easier than that. Like it's really, really wild. I tell you what, you know, uh, oh, I'm gonna say something really, really bold. It, you know what? The overthinkers, man. I tell you, Hot Potato was an overthinker, and that was annoying. You had a million questions for one question. So there's one question, then a million questions under that question. It was like, wow, you traded like a woman. Now, I'm not being sexist there, but it's just, guys, we white, black, blue, red tees, girls. Oh my God, colors. Which one, babe? Which one? Send screenshot, babe. Which I don't know. Like, just pick one. Right. Dr. Peter, he's dealing with the family. And just let him deal with that. Right. Give him the time and the space. Um, let's see. Oh, I was gonna go on a rant. Because I was. Wreck It Ralph, I promise this rant won't be level 10. I promise. Hey. Yeah, I forgot to go on a rant. Yeah. Alright, so here's the thing, right? Rant time, yeah. Trading books, senseless, right? It's Literally, the trading books, you go through trading books, right? All they're meant to do is to, well, take your money, right? You don't get experience by reading a book. You just don't. You don't get experience driving by being a backseat driver. You just don't, right? You go on YouTube and you watch all these videos and you got the latest Luxago trading indicator, the next indicator that's going to make you rich, right? The silver bullet. And then there's so many strategies out there. And then you strategy whore and you bounce from one to another, bounce from one to another. And then I have to ask you, no matter what your strategy is, listen, I could take any strategy and pretty much make it work, right? The reason why I can pretty much make it work is because I also know that I have to collect that empirical data, right? But the thing is that retail is so caught up in this idea of like, I'm going to use this strategy. I lost 3 trades in a row. This doesn't work. Okay, what's your strategy, Bill? Well, Bill says, well, my strategy's this. All right, cool. Right? 2 trades, it works. 3 trades, it doesn't. Okay. Now, well, bam, bam. No, that's a totally different thing. That is just like, bro, what are we talking about here? Bam vibrations. Like, vibrate these nuts in your mouth, bro. Jesus. Anyways, at the end of the day, you have to go ahead and allow yourself that time for yourself. Get that screen time, right? And this is why I love what we do here at Trade 1348. It's really not a strategy. If you guys think about it, it's really not a strategy. All it is it's just momentum painted on a chart for you, so you're not a dumbass and trade against it because, well, the trend is your friend. If there's anything you're going to get from any of those books, those countless books, those psychology books, those candlestick pattern books, trend analysis books, right? All that stuff. All the guys that just make things far more complicated than it needs to be, right? Common denominator is trend is your friend. So why not just create something that just makes the trend so obvious that you just trade with it? Uh, I mean, Trade 1348 is a set of rules. Most importantly, it's about risk management, and Trade 1348 is the best platform to learn from that. Thank you, Racket Ralph. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's all it is, a row-based system, so you can duplicate your results over and over and over again, right? It's that's just it. You know what's interesting, right? Uh, some people just get like so caught up in, like what's that? The 3 white soldiers, or just basically candlestick patterns, right? And this candlestick pattern means this, right? Okay. Well, all I care about is, let's say we do have a certain candlestick pattern. All I care about is the end result. I don't care about the pattern, right? If you point to the pattern to me after the fact, you know what I'll tell you? I don't give a fuck. Did it go up or did it go down? Right? And what we have here with GoldenEye is simply, hey, we're going up, we're going down. What's the candlestick pattern? I don't know, I don't care. See my point? So, let's go ahead and look at Tesla. By the way, SPY just took off. Hope you banked on that one. Let's go ahead and look at Tesla. Tesla, you got your entry here. You broke this zone right here. You do have a level right here. I mean, if you played even here on the break and you set your risk right there, I mean, good, you're good to go, right? It's for check marks. Right? Screen time gives you experience on how to move your stop losses. The trade design doesn't teach you that. No, it doesn't teach you that. It gives you a template of that, right, D Baker? Right? That's why we have your entry and your stop, right? Formally, what a lot of retail do. Yeah, well, I mean, before you guys even joined this community, I'm pretty sure you experienced something like this, right? So you get in a trade, it works against you, and it's going all the way down here. But you're like, keep calm. It's gonna go back up. It's gonna go back up. Yay, it's going back up. How many times have you guys experienced that? It's going down, coming down. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. We're just going back up. Yeah. How many of you guys experienced this? Of course. Of course you experienced it, right? Okay. At least here, we're telling you, hey, bro, before you go ahead and subject yourself to emotional damage, maybe you need to exit right there, right? James Hatton, I've been gone for a bit. I tried looking for the answer but couldn't find it. What do each of the check marks represent? Each of the check marks, they represent, one check mark represents RSI, right? It's color coded. The other check mark represents golden eye, also color coded. The other check mark represents Heikinashi, right? So my Heikinashi colors are a different color, but you know, you get a green Heikinashi, right? So it represents that. Making sure that everything's in confluence. And then of course, you got your green parabolic star. So all your check marks are pretty much aligned there. Up 67% on these calls. 10 for the win. Dope. CL. Oh man. Wreckage Ralph. Oh. Look at this. Look at this CL, right? I mean, you had your entry with CL at 86.9. It came down all the way to 86.36. Now, you had a zone right there that you found on a 5 right there. You had that zone right there. Maybe it would be more apparent down to 15. Oh, and yes, it was 86.79 in the zone, right? So that's all this was. Entry print done. Yes. CL was delicious. It looks like it did. Bro, go suck on some of that petroleum, buddy. I'll never do that again. Sorry. Okay. Back to the charts here. I thought I was on the chart still. Then, the corner of my eye, I realized, like, oh, ooh. All right, it came down to your 200. You got the wick down to your 200, guys. I mean, that's what CL was showing on the 15 minute, right? Um, you're good here. You made money, right? Trade design pays. You're done. Congratulations. We keep it simple. We keep it so simple, right? Spy paid, of course. Spy paid. You guys are still making money in like a relatively slow and boring market. Congrats. Congrats. All right, boys and girls, you know what to do, right? Link pinned to the top of the comments. Trade 1348, 7 days free. Right? No pressure. But if you really want to go ahead and change your life, you can do that here. And also link down into the description. If you really want to go ahead and change your life, you can do that here. Let's make some money. That move would pay for masters with GoldenEye, of course. Of course. I know a lot of you guys are like objecting to like, oh, $200, $200 whole dollars for what? Like, bruh, $200? You make that in a trade and you're done. Everything else is just profit. Like, it's just profit. If you can't make $200 with our system and our strategy, you are just doing it wrong, and someone needs to revoke your Wi-Fi access immediately. $200 can be made in minutes on futures. Absolutely. Our one-on-one was the capstone on my year of pain. Daily Taylor. Dope. Is it it's worth it for the charts and live stream? Well, I want to look at something. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, here we go. We got ES, and ES is a runner. We're overextended on a 5. Look at this here, guys. I have a rule. My weekend, I was in severe pain. Right? I think you guys knew what was happening with me. It was just, you know, it actually became my iron was just like way too high, and it was causing constipation, and it was a pain unlike anything else I ever felt. And then just recently, like I started a fertilizer company apparently. Just that that was it. So my weekend was rather boring. I was also watching the Giants and Bills game last night. That was a call that should have been called. Who watched Sunday Night Football? It came down to the end. It was sloppy play, whatever. It's the Bills, it's the Giants. No one expects anything of the Giants now, even though we had high expectations before the season started. But geez Louise, that call should have been called. That call should have been called. Revenge trader, 18% on Roth. I keep this up at my age. I'll be a tax-free gazillionaire when it's time to start drawing. There you go. Um, let's see. No Jets? I'm not a Jets fan. Not a Jets fan. Um, Gerald says they lost that game by blowing the last play in the first half. You're not wrong. It's really hard being a Giants fan right now. Yeah, really, really hard. Really hard being a Giants fan right now. All right, all right. Is it time we trade Saquon Barkley? Oof. Maybe. Yeah, I am. Wreck-It Ralph. Um, got Apple at the break of the 200, but she's moving slow. What time is it? It's 10:30. Chargers fan. We almost win. Yeah, it's hard being a Chargers fan. But I love the city of San Diego. Perfect year-round weather. Love it. Love it. Um, okay, let's talk about Apple really quick. Let's see. Let's check out Apple. Well, all right, Reese. You said he got in on the break up to 200, but it's moving slow. My question is, did you get any of this move before that 200 break? Did you get any of this here? Right? Um, Spy looking for a reversal. I know I was actually looking at that. Let's go back to, well, I'm gonna go to ES. It's the same as Spy, guys. I'm just gonna go to ES. Oh yes, it is beautiful. And expensive as hell. It is expensive as hell. Green Scorpion, yes, it did. Yeah, I mean, ES and Spy and SPX, they all pretty much look the same. This thing sure as hell did pay. Now, let's go ahead and look at the 15 really quick. We just broke through a level. The zone here, and then you have that level of 404 775. Interesting. It's about 2 points away, and we're seeing sensitivity to this. If we go ahead and we just draw from the origin of the move, that trend line here, that is just too steep for me. That's way more than a 45-degree angle. I usually like to see price action more at a 45-degree angle or lesser, and this gives me a sense of stability in the trade and in momentum. There is a long way to go between price action and the 13. You would literally need a Land Rover to climb this thing. I mean, actually, no. You would just need a helicopter. Just yeah, that's the only way you get into the mountain peak here. So that is really, really steep for me. If you're hunting a reversal, okay, hunting a reversal. Um, again, let's not be assumptive, let's be reactive. So we know here on the 15, we have our trade design, right? So let's go ahead and just plot a level here somewhere, right? 401.75. We're going to do that, and then we're going to go back to the 5-minute. So here on the 5-minute, we want to see a break of this level and a golden eye shift down, right? And so once we get a break at that level and a golden eye shift down, then that 401.75 becomes our risk. You see that? I'd like to see an indication of a reversal pop up really soon with golden eye, right? Which would give me that extra layer of confirmation. So that is the only way I'm taking this trade, because as it stands right now, it's just hold, and you don't want to go ahead and front run a move and it just literally bounces right off that 401.75. You don't want that smoke. Haikanashi getting thin on NQ. Damn, missed that rocket on ES. Thigh gap thinning plus RSI coming into its moving average on NQ. Well, there you go. Let's go ahead and look at NQ really quick. It's Monday. It's yeah. You gotta burn Friday's premiums, don't you? Okay, so on the 5-minute, you do have RSI coming down to its moving average. Again, let's see if there is on the 5-minute, you can clearly see the zone right here at 15,308, right? And it's clearly broken below the zone. You could have that target at 15,264. You want to see the trade design down, right? She's not ready. She's not ready. She's not ready. Remember, be reactive and wait for the indications to give you the go. Don't assume. Now, if you're gonna assume, guys, you listen. I mean, there's nothing wrong with adding an additional layer of risk. But if you're gonna go ahead and assume, make sure you always have your level of risk defined, right? Always have your level of risk defined. And this is a very, very, very tight trade design. How many contracts here? Just one? Ooh. Let me see. All right, let's do this. Go to order. I'll go short and I'll set my stop loss and my take profit, right? And I'll just go short. This is an example. This is an example of this, right? So I'm going to set my risk right there. I'll set my take profit. I got stopped out, right? Very, very tight with the risk. Very, very, very tight with the risk. Okay. Let's go ahead and do it again. I can keep doing this because my risk is super, super, super tight, right? Super, super, super tight. Let's expand this a little more. All right. So let me talk into this trade, right? You have a candle gradually coming down. What I want to see is I want to get my entry on the shrinking candle right there, right? And then, okay, so here goes my risk. I'm making my risk really, 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 really tight, right? Super, 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 super tight. Of course, this is NQ. I bought 9 contracts. My risk is $630, right? But here we go. I got stopped out. And the thing is once again, guys, is you take the trade. You don't really worry too much, right? Especially if your risk is tight. Now, I did oversize the position with 9. I didn't realize it was 9, but oh well. Look, it's just flickering around, right? Just flickering around. This is wild. Again, you can take those trades. You can take these trades, as long as you're willing to keep that risk super, super, super tight. Just super tight. Your risk to reward to be absolutely phenomenal, right? And when I establish my risk, I put it at the top of the box or the risk box, right? If it hits it, it hits it. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? I always live to trade another trade that can make me bank a considerable amount of bank, right? Just keep it simple. Do you mind showing how you have your BJ key levels set up again? Really quickly, for the 7th millionth time, BJ key levels, it's really simple. Settings, look left, 75, look right, 10. Align zones checked, extend right checked, show level labels checked, detect pivot highs, detect pivot lows are the only ones that are checked. Wait for a command bar, for confirm bar, and everything else is pretty much default. And click OK. All right, we have another. It is flickering here, right? And you're seeing a lot of sensitivity in the zone here. This is thinking about it. Chewy, what's up? And we're gonna set the take profit. We're gonna set the stop loss. We're gonna hit sell. And once again, my stop loss is top of the box, really tight right there, right? And just gonna let it play out. And that's it, right? At this point, once you enter the trade, guys, be mindful not to manipulate it too much, right? If I go ahead and I take this to a 1-to-1, that's not bad. That's fairly decent. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. But try not to manipulate your trade designs too much, right? You set your stop, you set your take profit, call it a day, right? I wonder if Hot Potato's on. Hot Potato, can we get a video really quickly on how to maybe set up alerts at BJ key levels? Right? Guys, you could do that as well. Just set your alert at BJ key levels. And when it breaks that price level, you go ahead and look at the chart, and then you see if GoldenEye is showing sensitivity to it, right? If it is, you probably have a solid play on your hands. The drawdown is super, super tight on the 3. Absolutely. Some people like the 3. Some people like the 3, some like the 5. The strategy is the same. The strategy is the same. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to be wrapping things up. And I have some videos to make now. All right. So let me go make some videos. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See you inside the Discord. And make sure you check out the links pinned to the top of the comments down in the description. Let's make money. All right. Danny Mitch, when you say manipulate trade designs, do you mean to modify the trade design? Normally, I just let it automatically plot. You could do that. I mean, but that's what I mean, right? You don't constantly want to keep playing with the design and constantly moving your stops and constantly moving your take profits. You don't want to do that. That is just a great deal of stress. A great deal of stress. Right? So that's really all I have for you guys. All right. See you on the flip side. Peace.